at the beginning.
Good.
Until Margaret joins.
Okay, when Margaret joins, please give me a heads up.
Okay.
I haven't joined the Zoom, so I'm gonna be, hopefully, we have public comment, we have an opportunity for public comment. There being no public to comment. Let's go on to preparation for recommendation presentation to the select board. Before we stand up and start talking, we should probably talk about the slides a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
Does-
Based on the email?
Yeah, so Sarah suggested reaching out to the Community Preservation Coalition and sharing our slides with them, which was a good idea.
Okay, actually,
Did you share this?
the way it happened
Okay.
was I called him because I wanted him to tell me more about this new hire.
Okay.
And I said, we really want to know, is his role specifically for lobbying the State House? And he was like, that is what he does. And he's also going to be doing some more data, like high-level data analysis of the blah, blah, blah. And then he said to me, I didn't know if you guys were still continuing. I thought you had dropped out. And I said, oh no, we're here. And then I said, we're working on a presentation. Then he said, oh, please send it to me because I would like to read it just to verify accuracy and what was the other word? Accuracy and I don't know, something else.
He caught a couple things, so
Yeah, yeah. So I said, oh my gosh, we never even thought of that. So that's, when I said to you, you said it.
Yeah, so I sent it to him, this is Chase Mack, who came to one of our very first meetings
That was a good
a
idea.
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And he got back to us yesterday? Was it late? Yesterday, all right. My work has been such that it might as well have been
I know, it's
today.
all
I
one
have not
day.
had any chance to do anything. So he flagged several items that we had listed as projects that aren't actually CPA eligible. Mapping trails, not eligible. Anything like the whole archivist thing for historic preservation?
Yes, not eligible. And I knew that, but it's like, I don't know how I missed that. Like maybe I was just wishing so hard because we did get
Well,
ARPA money. for
Let's
that.
not let wishful thinking get,
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
better of us.
But he had a
Um,
good suggestion, which was printing out, put it a slide that says CPA categories. Remember when he said that?
Yes, yeah.
I was thinking we should probably add.
We should include that at a minimum. We should include that as an appendix
Yes,
slide.
as an appendix.
Because if there is a discussion about is this eligible, is that eligible, we're trying to make calls on the fly.
Perfect. Right.
We should only make guesses as to whether something's CPA eligible with the chart in front of us.
Right.
Is everybody familiar with the chart in question? We've seen it several times. It's the one that's the CPA eligibility.
Oh, yeah.
You've got housing and
Appendix to this or to the report?
Both, actually.
oh, well, the report's kind of done. I suppose we can modify it. It's not like we printed a bunch of paper copies that have been
Yeah.
obsoleted for something. So yeah, we certainly could, although that's not on our agenda to modify the report. So
It's moving.
It's not a typo either.
it's not a typo. It's not a typo, it's not a photocrat. It is, we should absolutely include it in the presentation. I'm making got the slides opening right now.
Assuming we continue to meet after the select board meeting and before town meeting, we could put it on our agenda and modify the report in time for the warrant for town meeting.
I don't see why not.
Okay, solved.
Allowable projects. I'm just giving myself a blank slide. Put allowable projects
Okay,
information.
Yeah.
So I will add something. I will add that diagram. I'm not gonna do a live during the meeting because you all would rather I run the meeting.
I think the good rule of thumb is that it's not, can't be salaries, it can't be like,
Well,
something.
there's some interesting things, like
Yeah.
you can support certain things, you can't support other things. It's not 100% intuitive, so
Yeah,
best to put it up there.
right, oh, yeah.
All right, so yeah, so removing the things from removing mapping from the list of things about trails and removing the archivist and the markers from the historical page, that's just deleting a couple bullets, it's not a big deal. I've already done that in my copy today. I haven't sent that to Jax yet, but I can send that to everybody after this meeting, incorporating any other edits people have.
Yeah, I had one word.
Okay, I was gonna say, do we have other edits? And
Guess this is the last page.
yes.
At the bottom, instead of sample, maybe draft.
Oh, draft text for one. Yeah, that sounds fine. This is the last slide or the last slide of the current presentation. Article submission. Where it ends with draft text for a warrant article is included in Appendix B of our report, subject to the review of town council. Before it said sample text.
Word draft should probably go in the middle sentence in the slide too, before the word warrant, draft warrant article.
Yeah, I mean,
Two drafts.
I think that's fine. I'm not a charter expert to understand exactly whether I know the select board has to put things on the warrant that are presented by town committees. I assume that we can present a draft thing and that still counts. It's better, obviously, if it gets reviewed from town council. So.
Well,
So-
isn't technically everything that goes to the board a draft because the board of, they can modify it or alter.
Well, so, okay, I did not
they're the
open the
final
charter,
say,
but let me
right?
go. Not exactly.
If it's drafted properly, everything goes through town council,
Yeah.
like Joe said, so. We might approve it or amend it a little bit, and then
Right, so.
town council will say,
Okay,
it has to say this per mass general, whatever on any warrant
Right, so
article.
in
Right.
theory, everything going before the board is a draft, because it's gonna be.
Yes.
Yeah, you
yeah.
wanna have it best worded,
Right.
so
Right.
it helps
We
us,
don't,
obviously.
We're not doing anything that, yes, is not passed scrutiny by town council.
So who's got the active version of this? Because we've got Jackie's version on the screen and you're modifying your version. So
Yes.
which is the one that we're gonna be working
I
from?
printed out the one that Jackie sent.
Right, so
I'm
I think
looking at
to answer Martha's question, I was assuming that I would, since I've got it in, I sent it to Jackie in PDF format, but I've got it here as Google Slides, so I'm
So
just
it's
modifying the
you,
Google
you're the
Slides.
one responsible for the modification. So we
Yes.
can't see, like, in the report, Jackie was modifying and we were watching on screen. We can't do that tonight. So that's fine, just needed to know.
Okay.
So your Jax is going to get Joe's,
Yes, I will send it, Jack's can include it in, can pass it along, so it gets included in the packet for the select board.
Okay.
And it'll be on her computer, or is it you or Maddie does the select board one? But yes, you can get it to Maddie and Maddie can present it, and I can say next slide and all that good stuff. So,
Could, because Jackie sent out that information that I sent about that Massachusetts Preservation Fund. And I don't see that actually on the agenda, so when would we talk about that?
what was information on?
The 50% match thing.
If it's something we would consider including in our presentation, you're allowed to talk about it.
Well, it's in the packet.
Oh, is it in the packet? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well.
Did you see it, Carlo?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, so because of being in the historical commission, I got an email from the Massachusetts Historical Commission about a program that they have called MPPF. And it's a 50% matching fund program for the restoration of historical property. Which the historical property would have to be under preservation restriction. So, and the 50% match that the town would pay can be from CPA funds. So essentially it would be 100% would be between the state and the CPA funding. And so I sent a presentation that they sent us, and it's all examples of what's been done with previous funding things. And one of the things that I was so excited about is that the Pleasant Street Center is under preservation restriction. It cannot be demolished on the exterior or the interior. Very similar to the Natick Center for the Arts and the Newburyport Firehouse Center,
Can't be demolished, like, ever?
ever. Yeah. And so those buildings, like, I don't know if anybody else has seen the Natick Center for the Arts or looked it up. It's an amazing example of taking a fire station and they turned it into this really vibrant art center.
Yeah,
right.
we had that as an example early on.
Yes, okay. And
Yeah.
the same thing with the Newburyport Firehouse Center, although I don't know if that was through the MPPF. But with that being right up here for Reading to be working on and trying to decide what to do, and, it could be something that could be accomplished through CPA funds with matching state funds. And they do pay for an initial study, you know, to sort of meet it out, and then the second part is, so the thing that I sent, there's a link to it, so watch it, and it gives lots of examples.
And that's the only way you get the 50/50 is if you have CPA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that could also be the same for the church, because there's an example of a church that had facade mortar that had to be repaired. And you know how the church, church is under preservation restriction.
Private property.
I know, but it's still in the historical inventory under PRA. So that the town or the historical commission can apply through the state. The town can do the application, usually they do. And similar, the other building that I was thinking about that's under PRA was, I think Parker Tavern's under PRA. So if they need something, similar-
Marcus Tavern we own though.
Parker Tavern's independently owned, I
Not-
Yeah, it's owned by the
Trust.
Yeah, the Friends of
Reading
Parker
Aquarium
Tavern.
Society, Friends of Parker Tavern.
Yeah.
It's actually a private organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is in the
Okay.
historic
We did meet with
inventory.
them and it's in the historic inventory, so they
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
they could apply to a future hypothetical community preservation committee. And it would be an allowable project if
Yes,
the town wanted to contribute to.
yeah, I think there's several,
preservation.
I think there's 7
That would be
properties
allowable.
that are under preservation restriction, and I meant to print them out just to bring you, but anyway, I was so excited when I saw it because somehow I didn't know anything about that. And that would be a really, turning that building into an art center would be amazing and bring a lot of vibrancy to the downtown. Just a thought.
I watched part of the video and I didn't get the impression that the town match had to come through CPA.
It
funding.
doesn't have to,
Okay,
no,
that was,
Alright.
I guess,
That's what I was asking.
okay, that was the question, yes.
oh, it can come, it can be
So
a
you
match.
don't have to be a CPA community to qualify for these funds.
Correct,
That's what I asked. Okay.
yes, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
but I mean.
Right.
then-
But if we did have CPA.
Yeah, then it wouldn't
Then
take
it
any
wouldn't
money
come
from the
out of the
budget,
town budget, it would
Yeah.
come out of the
It
CPA
certainly could,
pot.
yes.
right,
Yeah.
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 So, yes.
Alright.
I mean, me personally, I would never fund a private. Parker Tavern is different to me than the church. Cause it's a business. If a nonprofit took it over, then me as a person would say, oh yeah, but like,
Yeah.
I would never give money to
Maybe
a private.
privately,
I mean,
they could apply for
in-
these funds.
That's
Yeah.
different, that's different.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna separate, whether or not something is eligible for CPA versus whether or not it's what Reading should actually spend its CPA funds on.
Yeah,
It sounds like it is definitely eligible for CPA,
that's a
part.
distinction, correct.
Yeah.
Right, so
Right.
that is
Which is really nice because like, for instance, the depot, which just got a new roof, which according to its preservation restriction, it had to have a slate roof or something comparable. And I met with the historical commission and he explained a slate roof was exorbitant. And so we had to compromise into a artificial slate roof, which kind of looks from a distance like slate, cost a lot less. But because he said to us, somebody told me that you could get some sort of state funds, and we were like, oh, if we had the CPA, because if we had that, something like that could have been paid through. And it could have been slate or whatever somebody wanted to do to it. They wanted to repaint it to look like it did originally or anything, so. It's just a nice thing to have as a tool,
the train depot is privately owned though too, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, okay, so taking this back to the presentation, because I'm,
That's
you
why
know,
we're here.
that's why we're here. Far be it for me to go off agenda. On the historic preservation slide, it's number 8 in my presentation. I'm not presenting, but this will just so people know what I'm talking about here. So I just added under the historic, so I deleted the bottom part, other projects, because we got feedback that everything under other projects is not CPA eligible.
Not even historical markers.
Well, I think we.
There may have been a miscommunication about what constitutes a historical
Yes,
marker, but
Yes,
I'm also not interested in having a miscommunication with the select board about what constitutes a historical marker.
okay,
So,
Good point.
yeah,
okay,
so let's talk about things where everybody knows what we're talking about.
okay,
So I added privately owned under preservation restriction, and then indented 2 bullets, Parker Tavern and Train Depot. And then below the bulleted list, I added could be used to match Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund grants. that sort of
Sounds good.
reuses that space.
think
that
I would
otherwise-
use
we have
their-
to clear out that space, so we'll replace it with something that's.
I would use their acronym MPPF.
I did
Oh.
Massachusetts Preservation Projects Fund,
Oh, you
parentheses,
did.
MPPF
Oh, see, I
grants.
can't see it.
Oh,
That's-
yeah, no, sorry, it's,
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Could be used to match,
Yes, should I join the Zoom just so I can
50%?
share my screen?
you should say 50%.
Um, I mean, that's.
Okay, well, you're saying a match is 50%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a match in the Carlo Bacci sense of the word.
Yes, it is.
So,
Yeah.
There is nothing partial about this
It's not
match.
me.
If we put in
Point
50%.
things out.
I know, but I still appreciate it, and this can be, and we can clarify this in the discussion if needed.
Okay,
That match here means
50%.
we put in 50%, they put in 50%.
Yeah.
So
That's what a match
that is
is.
that is a 100% match, or it is a, we put in 50%, they put in 50%, however you wanna put it, but yes. I haven't listed the church, I'm also running out of space.
I would say, given Carlo's reaction to the church, don't list the church.
I don't think it rates as highly as the tavern and the depot both seem like they're public to me in a way, even though they're privately owned, that
That's fine.
churches don't.
That's fine.
So,
Next.
Churches aren't.
I don't think you
yeah.
gotta beat a dead horse. I think we get the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
They're gonna get the idea of
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, exactly. It is worth knowing for people, that this could be used for other things. All right. That was good. Thank you. That was a good addition to fill in the spot that was left after Jace's deletion.
Okay.
Anything else to do with the presentation?
Yeah, one other comment is, in my way of thinking anyway, I thought that the override slides, which you added, which I liked, should be after the summary. Because it sort of is, okay, now that we've gotten through CPA, there's this other elephant in the room or something.
It is.
And I just thought that it was, well, it's obviously relevant, and we talked about that with our last meeting and the meeting before. I just thought that the order of it kind of took away from stem to stern, beginning to end on CPA proper, independent of this sort of circumstantial thing that we need to address. And that was just again, it's not a strong point, but just wondering whether that order makes sense to most, if not everybody else.
What do other people think?
Is it possible to do the lots of little boxes for the slide so we can sort of see the order?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like right.
Okay,
now
so
it's-
I see where summary is at the end and
Yes,
what's after summary.
the article submission.
Ah. Okay, and so,
The thought is
Yeah.
to take those two graphs and put them after summary.
how about
Or-
after
or-
article
Or after
submission?
article, I mean,
I see what you're saying, because it's not really directly related to the CPA, but it's,
it's related, it's relevant,
I don't know,
but
I was gonna say, yeah,
I guess that to me, when I was reading it, I wanted to read the summary before I got into the override stuff. Because I think it ties the presentation together. And then, there's something more that needs to be spoken to. But it's in addition, if you will, as opposed to integral.
it's hard for me to not think about the override as integral. It looms large. So here was the rationale for why I put it where it was. But again, I think if we can just do a vote if we want. Was one of the things the summary summarizes is the fact that we can either spend the same amount and get more, or we can just spend a little less. But both of those options are available to us. Because it says, allowing Rand to spend less on projects we already fund or to fund additional projects without spending more, which those parts correspond to the two slides before it. So I was sort of trying to summarize those slides, rather the summary that we already wrote as a group last time actually summarizes these slides even though they weren't there yet. So that was the rationale for including it before the summary, but I'm curious about if what Sandy's saying resonates with other people.
guess the way I kind of respond to that, Joe, is that, at least in my way of thinking, we were talking about CPA unto itself, without the context of the override, in making the changes to the executive summary and the summary slide. And now the same point is, as you say, being carried into the override discussion. And maybe I was just thinking about it differently than you were thinking about it at the time. Again, to me, it's not a big point, but I just thought if someone is trying to get that summary point without being complicated by the override, that summary slide might slide in ahead of the graphs. And then you've already made the point and you can remake it in context of the override.
Carlo, you were about to say something.
Yeah, when I saw the graph, I'm being totally honest with you guys, okay? To me, the graph does a disservice because of that black line. And I know overrides out there and it's gonna be more on the forefront in 26 than it has been,
Oh, it does.
but so I think I said this at one meeting, you know, I have two hats, right? I have this hat and then my select board hat. And the select, so when this comes in front of me and I'm sitting here with my colleagues, I cannot support another tax. I see all the benefits of this. So in my opinion, having said that, to me, this graph does you a disservice, but that's just my opinion. Yes, we have to talk about override, but I would focus just on CPA. That's just my opinion, because if I didn't have any of this context of all this work you guys have put in, because you guys have done most of it, I'll admit that. And if I saw this, I'm like, okay, this looks good, but where's the money coming from? It's still coming out of my pocket. And that's all I'm getting. So it's just not, doesn't look right. That's just, I'm just giving you my feedback. For presentation wise, I wouldn't do that for your benefit.
So you're thinking if we got rid of the dark red and just had the pink and compared with or without CPA, you know, we spend $1 million or we spend 800,000 and get 200,000 from the state.
I think so.
I mean, this is a hypothetical,
Right. I mean,
right? And I know the board's not gonna like hypotheticals, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't either. So I'm just coming at, I wanna be as honest as I can, that I think this graph does a disservice to the presentation. If you guys wanna include it, you're more than welcome to, but as a select board member, I will not be supporting the CPA tax. I support what it does, but in this environment, and then what the state is proposing on top of this, I can't.
What is
do
the
it.
state proposing on top of this?
The state is proposing to give us, the five of us, not this five right here, five of us,
The select board.
select board, the power to increase excise tax, meals tax, lodging tax, and potentially sales tax. And given I'm a non-conservative, I will never support those, where some of my colleagues might. So,
And that's a way to balance the budget without doing an override, or at least.
no, it's just the state is hurting. The state is hurting, so they're throwing all this crap on us. Let us tax the residents, not the state. Let the locals tax
The locals,
the locals,
okay.
right? Because the state can't manage its money. I don't want to get into bigger politics than we have to deal with here, but I think you know where I stand. As far as that goes, you know,
so
So can I ask a question? Carlo? I think what I'm hearing, I'm trying to make sure that it's correct, is that while we're making this general point, okay, on the summary slide, okay? And I don't know whether or not you think that point is correctly made. So question number one, but question number two is, if that point is now carrying over to override in the way that is shown on the graphs, and you, in wearing a different hat, okay, would not be able, as a matter of circumstance and timing, to support CPA. You therefore think it's improper for us to say, we anticipate that that's an issue and we want to address it to you?
No,
We as this committee.
no, I know what you mean. No, in that sense, no, but I've been doing this for 6 years now. I don't like hypotheticals. As far as,
But the hypothetical is what you're telling us you would not support CPA for.
no, it's, no, I don't, it's the taxing of residents. There's a distinction of CPA, the benefits of CPA versus taxing residents.
But the timing concern is still all hypotheticals. The
Correct.
excise tax increase is hypothetical. The override is kind of hypothetical, although the math is gruesome if it's.
No,
It's
it's not hypothetical, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what
Right, so like.
don't know
like
the
it's-
amount.
It's not
We don't know
more,
the
I mean,
amount.
I guess I guess what I'm trying to understand is, I mean, one way that I could sort of, okay, so one way I could try to synthesize both, perspectives here is to take these two slides and move them to an appendix. So they're not in the main presentation. If someone says, get real, we're doing an override, wouldn't that make this, wouldn't this be in addition to an override? Then I would be able to pull this up and say, well, it doesn't have to be. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. We could do a smaller override, and this would probably, in terms of operating budget terms, it would mean adjusting the fraction of the budget spent on capital every year, because that's where we've been spending stuff on CPL.
No,
CPL
and
so
I'm
forth.
I look down the road. I shouldn't say I never do knee-jerk reactions, but I always have a knee-jerk.
We all do knee-jerk
I always have a
reactions.
knee-jerk reaction, but when we're talking, I went to the DLS did a presentation, you were there at the library.
Right.
And talking about capital planning and this and that, and what kind of government do you have? Do you have town meeting? Whatever. But so this, which is going to encompass a definite override of whatever amount.
Mhm.
These other proposed taxes, they have to pass the state legislature, right? But we're not called Taxachusetts for no reason. So all those things were in my head,
Mhm.
right? And I have to do the right thing for my conscience and what will hopefully benefit taxpayers, right? Not everybody, not just conservatives, liberals, whatever, just everybody, because our taxes are never going down, ever, right? And then when the two built projects hit, then unfortunately town halls are gonna get phone calls. They're not gonna call me, they're gonna call upstairs, say, what the F is this? Right? Why my taxes go $1,500? Well, we got a new senior center and a new school. Oh, well, but and so on and so on. So we're not gonna get the calls. She's gonna get the calls, upstairs is gonna get the calls. They're gonna get the calls and deal with the brunt of this. So,
We're gonna get the tax bills, so point taken.
no, right, but I mean, it's
I
like,
mean, that's-
so I'm thinking,
I'm
that's-
not
that's-
ignoring this perspective.
that's
by
how
any
I
means.
think,
We need to
right? I'm
certainly take
thinking
this into consideration.
water rates, split tax, this project, that project, what we can get grant money for, what we can't get grant for. We're friggin' using free cash every friggin' year, and we're not in a good path. We're not in a good path. That, Joe knows, we're not in a good path.
So back to this.
Yes.
I wouldn't have it in a presentation. I'll end it there.
Yeah.
Me
No,
personally.
I appreciate that.
I'm just trying to give you
opinion on
the-
it. No, I
Yeah, no,
appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to
So-
help you guys as much as I can. I'm not.
Yeah,
I-
no, it's
I
appreciated.
do appreciate it.
But I agree with Sandy. I think we need to get back to what we were charged to do. And
Okay.
keep it simple, and we were charged to do the CPA. Yes, Joe, it's the elephant in the room, the override,
I mean,
but I don't think it should be incorporated in the core presentation, and I do like and would support an addendum.
all right.
Because you know, the hypotheticals, we don't know what the number is and.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean, I
just-
I put in
So at least
5
we're
million, I'm not gonna
acknowledging
lie,
that-
that's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably more than that.
Right,
Um,
but we're acknowledging the
I hope it doesn't
override
get small.
impact and.
So the focus of presentation to the select board isn't to say yes or no, it's to say, are we putting this on the warrant? Which I think
We are
is the
putting
right
some
thing
more,
to
but it
do,
is,
because
we
it-
are, yeah.
gives the
mean-
voters the chance to say.
Well,
Right.
so we're putting it on the warrant, which means town meeting it gets to say, and then, you know,
Right.
if town meeting says yes, then the voters get to say. Those are the two votes that matter here. But yeah, I mean, we were commissioned by the select board, we're reporting to the select board. That's our job. But then
And
the
my
votes,
understanding is that the select board basically doesn't get to tell us, no, we're not putting it on the warrant. It has to,
Unfortunately, we can do whatever we want.
well, you did, so we did look this up.
I'm almost positive. I'll refrain, I'll
Yeah.
backtrack. Because you're under us and we put the things on the warrant and not put things on the warrant.
They, yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
created us.
right,
so.
There could be some crazy law, because it's CPA, which is, you know,
No crazy law.
It's not created law, it's in the
not
charter.
It's in the
crazy, but not
chart.
crazy,
It's
but
in the
you know.
charter.
It's in the charter, hold on, I've got the reference here.
That's where it is. It's not a crazy
It's
law. Commonplace for every town meeting.
right,
You know
so,
those charters.
alright, so, except for so.
This is an ad hoc though, it's not like conservation, it's not like Board of Health, I'm not exactly
I
sure.
mean, we can ask, okay, so maybe we need to get a question to town council before the select board meeting. My reading of the charter, I couldn't find anything in the definitions section that defined ad hoc boards and committees differently from ones that are established in the bylaw. And in fact, I think it may have explicitly included ad hoc committees, I'll look at that too, but then, you know, what it says, it's section 2.13. Except for procedural matters, all subjects to be acted upon by the town meeting shall be placed on the warrant, therefore issued by the Board of Selectmen. That's a therefore, that's one picked on at town meeting. The Board of Selectmen shall place on such warrants all subjects submitted by any 2 or more members of the Board of Selectmen, any board or committee, any 10 or more voters, and then any other person or entity that as may be authorized by town bylaw or otherwise. And then it gives instructions about like how it should be listed in the warrant. It's like this.
Yeah, I'm just not sure in the ad hoc, Sandy, you're 100% right, I'm just not sure.
No,
about
but
that.
there are a lot of different ways it can get to town
Oh, yeah,
meeting.
yeah, petition, citizen petition, no, I agree.
So there are a lot of avenues.
Yeah.
And it's not only,
Yeah.
you know, what the
No,
board,
no,
what the board
I
says
take
can
that back,
go.
I misspoke,
Yeah.
you're right, misspoke.
Yeah, so
You wanted to go through us,
Of course we do.
of course,
Of course.
of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, I mean, I don't have any, you know, I don't have any illusions at this point about where everybody on the select board stands. I did look the definitions of it. It says the term board or committee shall mean any board, committee, commission, authority, or council of the town, however created, elected, appointed, or otherwise constituted. So I think that makes us a board or committee.
So just to clarify, we're just merely reporting back to the select board, everything that we've gathered, all of our information, we're presenting this. We're not going to get into a defense of it or a pro or a con, right?
Well, I mean,
I
we
just
are.
don't wanna-
Well, I think you wanna be pro.
Well, so,
Well,
yeah, I mean, we are pro. It's in our recommendations.
It's in the
Yeah.
It's in the
Yeah, it is
recommendations.
We
pro.
voted on 1% and it's.
Yes,
it's a
and,
pro.
and more than that, in the recommendations, if we go back a few slides, we strongly and unanimously recommend adoption of the CPA. We recommend, that's based on the vote at the time. I don't know if we want to change the, well, yeah, that was the vote at the time. We recommend a 1% surcharge, blah, blah, blah. Like this is, so we are taking a position. We took votes on things. So we did that. And then we are not just recommending, but asking to put an article on the warrant. As per section 2.13 of the charter.
but basically, section 2.13 of the charter says that if a board or committee brings a warrant article to the selectmen will put it on the.
That's what it sounds like, that's what it sounds like,
Right.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
about, right.
And
There's
so-
other ways to get on the warrant as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's.
So,
yeah,
but
right.
it takes the onus off the select board to say whether they approve of it or don't approve of it, because it is a procedural matter for the select board. So you don't have to have a big discussion in public of whether or not you like this idea.
Correct.
You just say, a
Thank
board or
you.
committee has come to us.
Right.
You have asked us to put this on.
Yes,
It is
it's-
on our shoulders to proceed.
It's up to the voters, of
through.
course, exactly.
Yeah.
I would
And you
never.
can't, I mean, I know the select board has taken advisory votes before. Obviously, nothing stops the select board from doing that again. Any
Right, right.
any board or committee can take a vote advising town meeting, you know, what it thinks of a particular warrant article. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
already true.
Okay.
You know, conservation has voted on conservation-related articles that have come before town meeting, for example.
Yeah, but
And
it's
it's not-
just,
does-
it
not binding in the
takes
slightest,
the
but you can do it.
political pressure off the members of the select board. They are not deciding whether or not they like this. They are just doing the procedure that moves it to town meeting, and then it's up to town meeting to decide whether or not they like it and send it to the voters.
Thank you
So-
for clarifying that,
Yeah.
Martha.
Well, and even if town meeting says no, there's other ways to get it on the.
There is a
There are
possibility,
other
although I
ways.
mean, obviously, if town meetings, you know, I would, I mean, obviously, anybody here can do whatever they want. And, you know, or anybody not here for that matter could go and do a petition. Obviously, the town meetings, you know, the discussion at town meeting will be informative, I think, put it that way. So. Yeah,
So are we ready to?
okay, God, we did not, with 37 minutes, we have not done practice presentation yet. But this was a good discussion, so I'm glad we did it. So I've moved in my copy, just summarizing the changes. We'll go through the presentation that Jax has, because that's what Jax has. But the changes that are not in Jax's presentation, moving the bar charts into the appendix, so we'll skip over them when we practice the presentation today. And adding a slide in the appendix that is the table of allowable charts, allowable projects, sorry. Which is just, I'm just gonna copy and paste that one from the, you know, Community Preservation Coalition, so. And then there's on the historic slide, where we remove the not allowed projects.
And was that the only slide that had not allowed
No,
projects?
on
that
the
Chase
open space
caught?
preservation slide,
Oh, that's right, it
we
was
removed mapping.
trails.
So now it just says expansion accessibility on one line.
Oh, and take off mapping.
Exactly. Mapping is not a permissible project.
Interesting.
But it's nice that accessibility, like that's also.
But
in
accessibility is,
playground
Chase was
accessibility.
enthusiastic about that one.
Yeah,
And we're looking to put a boardwalk behind Recal. And if this passed in time to pay for the boardwalk, that would be lovely.
Wonder how long that boardwalk will take. 'Cause this is, we have a timeline about when this money will become available. It's gonna be a little while.
time
Well,
flies. We've
Now,
been doing this
well-
almost 2 years.
Be a lot of competition.
We're
for it,
looking
too.
at like 2027 to be the year that the
2020,
design happens.
okay.
And
Alright.
that's only design, so maybe
So then it could be
2028
brought, it could be brought
construction.
to the Community Preservation Committee in 2028. That is the thing. Okay, all right.
And one
good
more
to know.
thing I just want to add, when I was talking to Chase, because I asked him, I said, can people donate to the fund? And he said, yes.
But there's no state match on what the people donate to the fund, just,
No,
Yeah,
no, but they
yeah.
can make a
right,
donation.
okay, that's
So I
fine, yeah.
put it in their planning.
You can also pay more towards your taxes too. You don't overpay your taxes.
But you can put it in your estate planning is what I'm getting at. You know, like
Okay,
sometimes
all
people
right. I mean,
leave
that-
money
that's
to the
more-
high school.
I mean, it's,
Or
yeah,
sports.
donating to the Community Preservation Fund is a heck of a lot more plausible than, you know, just sort of tossing random money into the.
Yeah, I mean, I would, because you know what it's gonna go for.
No, know why it's funny, Sandy? At town meeting, my first or second year, remember Daddario? Remember him? He was a character.
Ron,
Okay.
Ron Daddario?
Ron
Yeah,
DiMaria,
okay.
He was up there pontificating about something, right? And he said, I don't care what my taxes are, you know, because I love it, whatever he said. And all in my head, all I say, was like, then pay more. If you don't care what your taxes are, then pay more. Because there was no tax increase he was against. Like, then pay more, pay double. Like, that's why I made that comment. That
You
reminded
can
me
also
of
do
that.
an underride.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. If we wanna have a town, we're not gonna do that.
No, no. All right.
I'll never forget that.
Well, you'd have some people who would support that.
Oh, I'm sure, but yeah, it's it's a question of how many cops and teachers you want to fire.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
And
So,
snowplow drivers, which we
yeah,
have discovered we need.
You do need those. They're comparatively smaller fraction, although yeah, DPW comes in third after teachers, after schools and public safety in terms of size. So things I know because of.
All right, let's
All
start.
right, let's
start
do
this.
a practice presentation, shall we? Yeah. All right, so Sarah and I will go to the podium. Pretend like this is real.
Let me get my tomatoes ready, hold on.
Sure, I'm sure Chris will have some for
This?
yeah.
All right, so do we start with this page or the next?
Well, we start with what's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna read from the screen.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes, we're gonna say next slide
Easier,
and that
no
whole thing.
readers. Okay.
All right, okay, so
Great.
I'm gonna start by saying thank you all for inviting us to your meeting tonight. We are the Ad Hoc Community Preservation Act Study Committee, which you all, the select board, formed almost 2 years ago now. And we are finally here to fulfill our charge and report on our study of the Community Preservation Act. Next slide. So what is the Community Preservation Act? Seems like the first thing to study. We'll probably need to make sure we have these mics nearby, by the way. We're not, nobody's listening to us on Zoom.
Keep
so-
going.
All right,
Keep going.
okay. So it is a state law that permits communities to add a small surcharge to property tax. So a percentage of your taxes that gets set aside in a special fund for specific types of preservation related projects. And then the state contributes a percentage match, which varies year over year. 201 of the 351 towns and cities in Commonwealth have adopted the CPA. Reading has not chosen to do so.
Not yet.
Not.
Yeah.
So
One quick question was, didn't we say we didn't want to read verbatim what was on the slides, or do you think it's important at the beginning to read verbatim?
I'm trying to summarize,
Okay,
but
All right.
maybe I'm taking that as feedback to summarize more.
okay,
Thank you for the feedback.
okay.
So this is the charge that you all voted on for us. Give you a moment to refresh your memory.
Go ahead, Ed. I didn't mean for you not to speak.
Next slide, please. So what have we done to try to carry out this charge? We've met with a variety of different organizations, state organizations that support the CPA, peer communities that have adopted the CPA, the previous CPA adoption efforts in Reading in 2002, 2003. We have met with a bunch of different boards and committees and a couple private organizations that would also have an interest in CPA. And so we have a report which has been distributed to you in your packet that documents what happened when Reading
Our
considered this.
findings, right?
Which documents our findings. And we have a summary of some of those findings here to talk about tonight. Sarah, you want to talk about some of the
I
things
would
the
love
CPA could do?
to. I would love to. There are basically three pots, no, I shouldn't say three pots, three prongs to community preservation funding. The first one is open space and recreation. And starting with open space, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. First one's open space and recreation. Okay, starting with open space, we can continue the work that we've been doing in our conservation land with more boardwalks, controlling invasive species. Just recently started a community garden. We're hoping for residents have been asking for a dog park and even splash pads. I thought we had put splash pads.
It's on the next slide.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Next.
This is why you practice.
It is a good idea. Do I go to the next one?
That we are on the next slide.
Oh, we are on the next one. Okay. We've had quite a lot of funds spent on the Birch Meadow, the renovation of Birch Meadow, the expansion of the recreational offerings there. And that's something that going forward, if we continue to work on that area, we could pay for with CPA funding. We could also use CPA funds for playgrounds, accessibility improvements to playgrounds. Many residents have expressed interest in a splash pad. And we can also be looking into more of our recreational courts, like the tennis, basketball, pickleball. And we could work in conjunction with booster organizations for, is that true?
Yeah.
Like, in what way? I guess I'm not really clear on that one. They raise money and then,
I was gonna say, you can direct your attraction, we have a member of the
Yeah.
recreation committee
Yeah,
here.
so the booster organizations are very, they put a lot of money back into maintenance of fields.
Yep.
Construction of fields improvements, capital improvements on the fields, dugouts,
Signs.
signs, irrigation
Fences, yeah.
systems, new
Fences,
turf,
yeah.
fencing,
okay, so we could work alongside recommendations from the booster,
Right,
correct.
or
Okay.
potentially, yeah,
booster organizations. Okay.
Right. People can make a proposal for a
Yes,
project that
yeah.
is generally funded, so yeah.
So just quickly, just some historical background. So it was always the intention, well, the town should be doing this. 100 years ago, we were able to do it,
Yes.
now can't. So that stuff that's just been put into deferred maintenance. So the booster organizations thankfully have generously stepped up, and they're pretty financially sound, these organizations, and they gladly put back into.
So you could say that for many years, the town took care of the recreation
Yeah.
maintenance, these sorts of things, and
Yeah.
when those projects were being continually deferred, grassroots efforts came
Yeah,
up
it
with
was
the
just,
booster
it didn't, it
organizations.
was never really a
Yeah.
priority if you know.
Yeah.
Let's go
Right,
back.
it's not, I
schools
mean,
and
again, when it's up
policemen.
against replacing a snowplow.
Correct.
The cracks in the tennis court
Teachers
just get
and
wider.
firemen and
Yeah.
policemen. So anyway, it was just naturally
Okay,
low prioritized and deferred maintenance. But the boosters have really come forward. So
And yes, it seems, the idea of this bullet on the slide is that presumably those organizations would
be
be
watching.
even more happy to support things if
Yeah.
it's matching, if it's being matched with CPA funding,
Okay.
so that their dollars would be going, farther. This slide is the one that's changed, so.
Right, okay. Historic preservation is quite often, what is the term we keep saying, put to the wayside or?
Underfunded?
Underfunded. I always tend to blurt out, we only get $1,500 a year, which basically is office supplies, but anyway. Historic preservation is a challenge to fund in our town. I don't know, am I saying that right? How else would I say that? Historic preservation is
I
not the
mean,
biggest
I would,
priority.
so my turn to offer feedback.
Yeah, I want.
So
feedback.
my suggestion is to emphasize that Reading has a lot of historic resources
Okay,
that we need to
yes, we
protect.
do.
And that we do protect,
Yeah,
and that we spend money, for, renovating the library, renovating town hall,
yes.
these
right.
things.
Oh, okay.
And, so I would, that's what I would
Look at it from
emphasize.
that,
is
okay.
Look at it from the point of view of,
That's
not that we don't
positive,
spend money on it,
right.
but look on the view of, we have so much good stuff
Okay.
that we do have to spend money on.
Well, then I might say part of the reason people move to Reading is that its historical charm, and maintaining these historical buildings is something that we do, and such as we have, gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Maintaining historical buildings is a responsibility of the town that I'm still not sure how to say it. Maintaining historical, all right.
That the CPA could help fund.
The
it is
CPA
the charge of the residents to maintain the history of the town.
Yes,
Right? I mean, like you said, that's one of the reasons we live here, the historical charm, and
yes.
so we need to protect those assets.
Okay. To protect our historical assets, CPA money would be very valuable. The town has approximately 7 preservation restricted properties, as well as in our inventory, we have over 300 historical properties. This includes things like Laurel Hill Cemetery, where we just had to pay for new curbing and road work in there. The Joshua Eaton School, the Parker School, that we paid over $1 million for a new roof that could have been paid for with community preservation funds. And our library also is one of the preservation part of our historical inventory, as well as Town Hall. I might bring up Pleasant Street Center only because it's so, everyone's talking about that right now.
I was gonna say, is there gonna be a Pleasant Street Center thing on the agenda that night, or was that already? I know they want to talk to FinCom about Pleasant Street. Everybody wants to.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're gonna talk to
Okay.
FinCom about Pleasant Street Center tomorrow.
Okay,
Who's they?
I
Jane, Katie, and Joshua.
Oh, okay.
was gonna say
Okay.
town staff.
And there are also state funds from the Massachusetts Preservation, what's the second P? for it? Project fund that will, the town can apply for funds that the state would match 50%. The town could only has to pay for 50%, and that money can come entirely from CPA funds if we are part of the CPA Act. CPA, yeah. I'm gonna work on this slide, and that's my thing too. It's just I've been thinking about this. One of the areas where Reading really needs to invest in is our affordable housing. We have a very small affordable housing fund. I think, what does it, Carla, 400,000 that we have an affordable housing trust that is essentially being used for maintenance on the buildings that we do have. And affordable housing in many cities has become the largest recipient of their community preservation. I think in Cambridge, 80% of their CPA dollars go towards funding. Reading sorely needs some other source of funding. And as we've learned doing our research here, that it's not just the money that you can get from the CPA funds, that these dollars are used as leverage with state grants and federal grants, enabling towns to build, and as well as they can take out bonds against future CPA dollars so that they're able to build what? I see your hand.
No, well, I
So they're able to construct.
finish your thought, finish
my
your
thing
thought,
is-
and then I have feedback.
Okay, I want to.
So, please don't compare us to Cambridge.
No, okay,
That will make a lot of people very unhappy.
okay. I just thought that was really interesting.
There's a lot of people who live in
Yeah.
Reading because they don't want to live in the city.
Okay,
So,
all right.
that's, that is not gonna,
I
That
think you
is
should
good.
mention Cambridge, Somerville, Brookline,
right?
all those are good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say,
If you're trying to antagonize people.
suggesting that that Cambridge spends 80% of their CPA money on affordable housing kind of is contradictory to what we say. We're already
Yes.
spending $1 million on these things, but we're not
Yes.
spending anything on affordable housing.
I
So,
know.
so we don't
Okay.
want to suddenly spend 80% of our
It's not-
CPA
yeah,
funds
no,
on
no.
affordable housing.
We
We
will
want to,
spend,
Right.
we will spend the 10% at least, because that's
Yeah.
required, but
Right.
not necessarily.
So I think it's more like Reading has, like, we only have small dollars to try to address affordable housing. So we're just taking care of these buildings that we have, and CPA money would give us the leverage to be able to expand on our,
So,
we have,
Yeah, I mean,
our inventory,
and
Yeah.
apply for state grants.
apply for state grants.
Yeah. Check in with Margaret about what she'd like to emphasize. I mean, one thing is we don't
Okay.
want to spend a ton of time on any one of these
Oh, yeah,
slides,
it's all
because
right,
we're taking
because
a
we
long
only
time
have
here.
15 minutes, yeah,
Right, we want to
okay.
keep it moving along, and I expect an awful lot of talking about overrides once you and I stop talking.
Okay.
Yeah, I would ask Margaret what she wants to emphasize here,
Okay.
because she's, as we all have seen, extremely good at talking about this stuff.
Now you're up next.
So, yeah, so I would ask her what to emphasize,
Okay.
but yeah, we're
Yeah,
definitely, it's not,
know.
I agree with Martha's feedback as well.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Gotcha.
cool, moving along. So, coming back in as the finance committee person here. So, we have done the math, using the, fiscal year 2025 property values that were provided by our town assessor. I was able to apply the fiscal year 2025 tax rate plus additional, for the amounts that, were estimated for Killam and Recal tax impacts using the calculator on the town's website. I'm assuming a CPA surcharge rate of 1%, which you'll see is what we actually recommend, and an exemption for the first $100,000 of property value. And as you can see, this comes out to roughly $1 million for residential. If we included commercial in this, it would add another $65,000, including match, just of course significantly smaller.
Why do we put that in there if we're not including commercial?
Because people are going to ask why we're not including commercial.
Okay. It just seems like we should have like an asterisk that says not being included. I don't know.
Well,
Or
yeah, I mean,
shade the line or something.
Yeah,
I mean, that could, yeah, I mean, of these, the line that, all right. So what do people think here? I mean, I want to show all of them because that's how we're showing our work. Like, we thought about it. I mean, I do expect, I mean,
Should we have two tables, one that just says residential and one
It's a
that
pretty
says-
boring table. It's not one row in it.
I know.
It's not a good table.
I think leave it up like this. But then when you get to the exemptions that we're choosing.
Yeah.
You say, if you remember that slide we showed you,
Yes. It would
it's
only be the
basically $1
residential,
million.
Yeah.
Even though we're only doing residential, the commercial didn't add much. You know?
Yeah.
So
no, I
we
will-
breeze through this slide, we say it's about $1 million that we'd get from CPA.
Right, and commercial would be a small additional
We
amount.
talk less on
But
this
just
slide.
to Sarah's point, up to this point, starting with your presentation, we don't know, we, the listener, don't know yet that we're recommending the commercial exemption.
Correct.
Yeah,
My
So
my
if-
thought on
so
this,
like Sarah said, some note or an asterisk or something like,
right.
I think it
So,
should be
okay,
in
so
there
then,
to
so
show
then,
that.
then it
it's-
sounds like I should at least say, and we could look at, I'm trying to think of what to do with the shading or whatever to make this, that wouldn't look funny. But at a minimum, it sounds like I absolutely need to say on this slide, and this is why, as you'll see in a moment, we're recommending an exemption for commercial and industrial.
Yeah.
how
Right,
about if you went
right,
the other
yeah.
way and just bolded the first column, residential?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah,
The other option is to take out both, because both confuses you in terms, I think.
Yeah.
If you're not recommending commercial, why are you doing both? But you could just highlight what we are recommending, and that will make
Okay.
sure that you say that, and maybe also that we're not recommending the balance.
All right, so strike the both row, that's fine, less is more, there's a lot going on in
And
this slide
and
already.
bold in the residential.
And yeah, we've got to figure out how to bold it, it's not the same way that the
Just
headers
bold
are
the
bolded, but
total, just bold the total.
I'll play with
You'll
it, I
figure
promise
it
it'll
out.
look all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
This
bold
is-
the whole line, like
Yeah,
Sandy said.
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to make sure it's not the same way that the header will probably, I'll highlight the header differently,
Just underline the header in a bold line.
something like that,
Yeah.
don't worry, this is totally not how we need to spend our time.
we trust you.
And I'm not sure I agree that you take away both. Because it goes back to when we get to the what are we recommending, even if we included both, it's really about the same amount of money. Right?
Simple math, yeah.
It doesn't make a big difference to our,
No, it doesn't move the needle that much, correct.
Just somehow indicate that we're not recommending a commercial.
Yes, yeah,
That's the main.
all right, that I think is doable. All right,
Okay.
so next slide. All right, and now, the question that everyone certainly wants to know is how much will it cost an average taxpayer? We actually looked at not just the average, but the median and the 10th and 90th percentile of house values. You can see the assessed values there. If you know your own house assessed value, you can try to slot it in. And you can see how that, what's, the current tax, for like $11,000 and the surcharge around $100 on top of that. Next slide. So the timeline, how does this work? If we, as you see, we're going to present you with a warrant article to put on the warrant for April town meeting. Town meeting would vote on whether or not to submit the CPA to the voters. If town meeting approves it, then there would be a townwide vote at the next election, which would be November, on whether or not to adopt the CPA. If voters choose to adopt the CPA, then town meeting would need to create a community preservation committee to actually manage the CPA fund, to take proposals and then from residents on what projects should be funded, and then to make recommendations to town meeting on which ones to actually fund. And then in 2028, we would actually start spending the CPA funds that we had started collecting in 2027 and 2028. Next slide.
The CPA study committee strongly and unanimously recommends the adoption of the CPA. We've selected a 1% surcharge to sort of align with the past spending on CPA eligible projects in Reading, which is about the 1 million mark. We recommend the following exemptions: all commercial and industrial properties, all low income, that is under 80% of the adjusted area median income residents, and all low and medium income below 100% of the AMI senior residents. as well as the first 100,000 of all other residential properties. The Community Preservation Act lets Reading protect what we value using local control and state matching funds, allowing Reading to spend less on projects that we already fund or to fund additional projects without spending more. I think we should say additional projects we want without spending more, right?
Oh, why would we fund them if we don't want them?
I don't know, it just seems like, it's like vague, additional projects.
I
Or to
mean, there's
fund
always-
desired additional projects. Community, I don't know, it's okay, okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
it.
I'm trying to figure out, I mean, it's, I think everybody in this room is gonna be painfully aware that there are more things
Yeah.
that want to be funded than there is funding. So,
Do I read this one too?
yeah, so, but no, I think we suggested that this would be me as the chair.
Okay, go ahead,
Yes.
yeah.
So, in summary, we have our recommendations here and we have a warrant article, a draft text of which is in our report. Like anything for the town meeting warrant, it should be recommended, it should be reviewed by town council. But we would like to present that to you for placement on the warrant for the 2026 annual town meeting. And we would love to answer your questions.
I have a question.
Yes,
You're not gonna like it.
didn't think I was. Go on.
I'm helping.
Sorry. I'm
helping.
getting that out of my system here, so I don't say things like
That's
that.
fine.
Select board meeting.
I'll try to trip you up, don't worry.
You'll
Um,
have help, sure.
so I noticed on your slide that you had the average of the last 5 years, because you know you're getting this question.
Yep.
What has been the match the past 2 years?
We
Have
can
that
look
locked
up.
and loaded.
We should have that ready, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, we should have that, we should have that,
I was
I think
thinking,
that was
I'm not-
16 or 17%.
yeah, I was
the
thinking
last couple
Sandy and
years.
Martha, or Kate, I don't, should have your computer and maybe have it open to the data of the CPA coalition. I don't know, if somebody asks a really specific question, like, how many splash pads have there been? Like 800, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, could you do this? You could search, I don't know.
amounts of matches. Yeah, the amount is in the report, so actually,
Yep.
we should have the report, we should have a,
The
make
whole
sure we,
report's going in?
Yep.
Packet? Oh, boy.
Yeah. and, yeah, I mean, it's
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 good,
not
it's
the
good.
longest packet, y'all.
That's good.
What's the what do the numbers show? So we just have,
Well, you know what, I'm gonna get them from the report, how about
Okay.
that?
And
That's, if I can get it from the report, that means we did something right when we wrote that report.
somebody on Concom said, well, could the state just decide to do zero match? And the answer is no. There's a guaranteed minimum 5% match.
Yeah, although,
Don't say that out loud.
don't say that out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say again.
But
don't
there
say-
is a guaranteed minimum.
If somebody
It
asks,
can't just go to
you can
zero.
answer it, but, hold on.
5%'s not worth it.
5% is not, you know, I mean, it's $50,000, so like, you know, I mean, I'm not voluntarily increasing my taxes by $50,000.
There you go.
Let's put it that way.
You got it.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, okay, so there you go, it's,
16, 17, 18, 16, 18.
yeah,
You're right.
so, yes.
Yes. And there is a new person on the staff there. It's a very small staff, but that's their role. And it's someone who's been working in the State House.
Yeah.
So they're
Right.
familiar with.
So yeah, I think if we were to pull that up from the packet, I would, you know, I would probably comment on how the variation in those numbers is pretty much just an inverse if you had an interest rate chart over these years.
That's
So when
exactly
interest rates
right.
were low, the match was high, and when interest rates were high, the match was low. It's
Yep.
really
Exactly.
as simple as that.
Okay, that's
So
good.
sometimes interest rates will be high and sometimes they will be low.
And back when we voted against it in 2002, towns were getting 100% match. We would have been getting
They don't wanna
100%
do
match
that.
if we'd passed it in the first place.
It's like, I'm not sure. There's one of the arguments that I have heard for the record is don't bother adopting it now because we didn't adopt it then when it was working.
Oh,
Which is a little bit, it's kind of a logical fallacy in there somewhere, like, you know, I didn't give you $100 yesterday, would you like me to give you $20 today? The answer is yes. Or even if it's $10, you would want me to give it to you today.
Yes, but it's not just the match. It's the leveraging. It's getting the key to open a larger door. You know,
Yes.
which is what, we don't have access to any of
But-
those doors.
Okay, so we do talk about matching opportunities in the report and in the slides. And I wonder, you yourself made some good points a few minutes ago about like not trying to make this a debate.
I know.
So,
Well, I feel like among us, I'm just
well, okay, yeah,
hashing things out.
right. Among us, certainly that is
Yeah.
a thing. If someone says 20% isn't worth it, then that might be a thing to bring up if that was a,
Okay.
you know, if someone, especially if it's in
But
the form
actually,
of
you're
question.
right, it's not a debate, we're just presenting it, and then the select board might have questions, and they might just say thank you.
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm not gonna, right, I'm
I
not
think
gonna,
it'll be a question.
there'll be questions, yeah, there'll be questions, and I don't, you know, I'm not expecting to change any minds on the select board next week.
But we have to,
Um,
it's just to get onto the warrant, it's not to really take a
I
vote.
mean,
Yeah,
it's just,
information.
it's just,
Information.
it's
It's
just,
information.
it's just to
Information.
fulfill our charge.
Yeah,
That's what we're
Yeah.
doing. We were
and
charged
I
with,
think everybody here did such a good job on all of these people that I didn't really get
Can we
to, I
go back
never,
to slide 2 or 3? I think I had one more question.
yes, yeah, no, I would love to hear other questions from,
Yeah.
you know, actual or fake select board members, sitting here in the select
This one
board meeting
before
room.
this one.
so Carlo, you're asking a question for yourself or for the select board?
Oh, I'll be asking that question. No, I think I'm good. So the only, I think the second to last slide, the only thing I would like to suggest is,
Summary or the recommendations?
no, the one before that, where it says,
Recommendations.
where it says unanimously. I voted on the 1%. Like I said, I'm not gonna be supporting this as a selectman, so I think we need to strike the word unanimously.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
That's
Because
all.
Were you here the day we voted?
No,
No, I was on the 1% vote.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is, okay, so I'm aware of the technical, I'm aware of the sort of spirit and letter of the law here. The letter of the law is that, well, you know, the vote of the committee, if a quorum votes a given way, that's how the committee voted. I also understand that that will be confusing and I'm not, you know, interested in provoking unnecessary drama. So I think I'm fine with saying we strongly recommend adoption of the
Yeah.
CPA. I feel like the rest of us are strong enough.
Yeah,
Even
I think
if,
that's,
even if
easiest.
with, you know, Carl's hesitation, it's still not, it's still accurate to say, and this way we don't need to quibble about like, well, you know, geez, you only had, I don't know, 5 out of 7 members present when you cast that vote. Is that really, it's like, sidestep that.
Yeah.
So yeah, unanimously might be taken to imply that we had 100% attendance at the time of the vote. So I don't want to make that implication because that's not true.
okay.
So
fine.
yeah, I'll pardon me while I run back and forth to my computer and delete that text before I can get.
Yeah.
so the
At,
only.
at town meeting, they often say we voted 5-0.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we
Yeah,
could say we
FinCom,
voted
whatever, yeah,
5-0.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Very
But
good. Thank you, Martha.
But I would accept just simply saying we strongly recommend. That's
If
fine.
I'm putting my Chris hat on, you know, obviously, if he didn't ask it, I would ask it just so the public knows about the percentage, right? You kind of like, you're throwing in an illusion in there, which I don't like, but it's factual, right? Of like, ooh, we're gonna get 27%. Oh, no, we're not. But anyway, so you get the question of, well, what's it been the past couple of years?
27% thing, by the way, I don't think we shared that this was Chase. Another piece of feedback we got from Chase is he was concerned the 27% number was high because he didn't want to, like,
Disappoint.
he basically doesn't want to disappoint.
I mean, it could be the number, but he thought that we shouldn't really be like sticking that out there, like, this is
Yes.
the number.
Yeah, so that's, which I, you know,
I just find that slide a little misleading, that's all. It's factual,
yeah,
but it's misleading that someone reading that quickly, oh crap, 27%, I'll vote for that. That's a lot of money.
yeah.
It's almost 30%.
Don't we use 20% on the numbers?
Yeah.
We say 27 is
Well,
the 5-year
we
average.
use all kinds of
We
different.
use, on our numbers.
On the slide.
No, on our slide, we use slide 10 of the presentation.
10-year average 25%.
Oh, does the report use a 10-year average? What is?
The report had a 10-year average right there.
24.76.
Oh, okay. I would be happy to update interesting, I'm confused. I thought I changed the slides to 5 years to match the report. The report is clearly 10 years. So I would be happy to change the
Okay.
slides to match the report, which will
Yeah.
use the 24 point something instead of the 27 point something.
So who were we doing the report for? Are we just doing the slides and then we're not doing the report?
No, I mean, we're presenting the report to the town and to the select board,
Oh, okay, but like
and it's,
next
they'll
week,
go on the website.
So
Anybody
next-
wants,
but
wants
next
to-
week we just do the slides
The
and then we
slide
just.
presentation, correct.
Yeah,
and then we
nobody's, we're not
email
gonna,
you
about to
the
say, nobody's gonna listen to us read a 40-page document.
Right,
Uh,
yeah. I
but
was
they
just
will have
wondering.
it.
Right,
And the whole town will
Okay.
have it,
Okay,
yeah.
because
oh, it'll be on our website?
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be in the packet.
That's
it'll
what
be
it's
in-
for, yeah.
And,
I'm about to say
and
we can- right.
does the town in general have access to this packet that went to the select board?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
But if it's
So
on
we
our
can go
website,
on the town website. and
but
find it
it'll
there.
also be on reading.gov/CPA.
I
which
understand
is
that.
A hell of a
But
lot easier to
also,
find in the
anybody who
packets.
didn't go to reading.gov/CPA and goes to select board February 10,
It'll be
what's the
in-
packet, it'll
exactly.
be there.
It will be,
Correct,
that's
right.
correct. And then it is also possible to, have material, like, to ask the town clerk to distribute materials to town meeting members in advance of town meetings. There are rules about what you can distribute, but I'm pretty sure that the report is well within the scope of what you can distribute to town meeting members. So we would presumably want to share that information there as well.
it's good to share that. Overall, Chase was very pleased with our presentation. He just had those three
Yeah.
things to say, so we should feel good about that. Where's
But again,
Margaret? She would
when-
wanna
It's
know.
good that you gave it to 'em.
Just like I pay attention when Sandy and Carlo agree, I also pay attention when Chase and Carlo agree. So, all
You
right.
would be curious, this is just for me, if anyone knows this, and I'm pointing to Sandy, would, from 2016 to 25,
Mhm.
right, look at that 43% number, that is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
COVID.
remember
38
what
right
happened, yeah,
below.
COVID and interest rates were like,
No, no,
Zilch.
well, my point is there any correlation, this is just for my own edification,
Go ahead.
is there any correlation to how many communities joined to the percentage, or doesn't matter at all?
It does matter, but minuscule compared to what.
Minuscule, okay,
Yeah,
minuscule.
it does.
It's been
I mean,
like one
Because
and
it goes
two
up
a year.
incremental. Interest rates are varying,
no, that-
dramatically in that period.
right, I mean,
No,
like,
no, right,
Yeah.
3% mortgages, 2% mortgages, correct, yeah.
yeah, no, that
When
was.
you look at
crazy.
the,
That's just the divisor. The number of
2000?
communities is the divisor. The pot is the size of the pot
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
main
yeah.
thing.
And I was just curious if there was some like crazy,
Yeah,
because why the numbers went down, other than interest rates, because more people join and there's less.
It's the level
Heidi.
of real estate, it's the number of pieces of paper
Right.
going on, being recorded at the
Right.
registry.
Right,
Yeah.
That's what makes the
Fewer
big difference.
transactions.
yeah.
yeah, but if you look at
Driven
the,
by interest rates.
if you look at from
Right.
2000 or 2002, whenever it started, to now, the first 5 or 6 years, it was 100% every time.
For the reason you're talking about. the
Because
number of
so few
communities.
towns had joined.
Right, yeah.
But now,
Now there's,
It's-
Like when you go from
piddling
hundred and
how many
96 to
towns-
201, it's like, well, that's this.
that's
much.
nothing, right. You know, money like from 2016 to, I know it's interest rates, but like, was
Yeah.
there
I think-
50 people added and then it started going down,
Yeah.
back to the 43%?
But
no,
Chase
the,
also.
the big numbers added
Yeah,
10 years
yeah,
ago.
I mean, it is strictly speaking, I do believe there were more adoptions of CPA in the last 5 years than in the previous 5 years. Probably not coincidental with the fact that the matches were a heck of a lot more enticing.
Yeah, right.
So that probably helped sway some folks.
More time.
But
Chase also said to me that over the years, it used to be that when the state had a surplus of money at the end of their fiscal year, they were putting it back into the CPA. So, but there have been other things that they've been putting any excesses to, and they haven't had as many
I was gonna
excesses.
say,
So that's why.
tell me more about this surplus of money.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
possibility that someday we may get a surplus. of
It is, right.
I'll
It's
wait for
definitely-
that, I'll wait, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a thing that has happened and will
Yeah.
happen again, presumably. at some point.
Carlo, look at the top of the right-hand column, the very first sentence.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
100% in the first years, 34
know.
communities. So
Yeah,
that's your question of,
yeah.
as more communities added,
No,
did it go down? The answer is yes.
I
but
wasn't
not
part of,
recently.
I think Cindy's the only one who was on that committee last time, right? So I wasn't,
No,
and the vote was 60-40. Oh, you weren't on the committee?
No.
2003 vote was like 50.5 to 49.5 or 50.2.
It was that narrow?
It was
Yeah.
really
Oh, I thought it was a
half a
little
percent.
more.
No, it was
Really
tiny,
crazy.
but it was not, it was not a, I think that the select board through the aughts was not generally in favor of the CPA, so there was a push again.
That's when it made sense. I mean, God.
No.
Don't talk to me, talk to
No,
like,
no,
you
like,
know, about to say, I think George Hines is still on Facebook. I actually recognized his name from Facebook and from the select board minutes from,
Oh,
of
yeah,
course, it was
that's
the Board of
right.
Selectmen
Yeah.
at the time.
Were they all conservatives at that time?
Well, it was the
It was a
new high
conservative majority.
school- the
Well,
new
there
high
was, yeah.
school was being budgeted or built, you know, that. kind of
Yes,
thing,
well, right,
so-
and I mean, that was, in terms of what swayed the voters in 2003, it was the high school.
It was that narrow, wow.
Yeah, no, it was
That
very
was a
close.
bigger spread.
No, but it was not,
It wasn't a big push
It
for.
wasn't a media campaign or anything.
yeah, it was a
Correct.
little bit, yeah, no, there was a
Yeah.
lot of things that,
It was
you know.
pre-internet. It was pre-email.
Well, it was new-ish.
pre-Facebook, that must have been nice.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I know, it was
But
nice.
Right, that's what I mean.
Anyways.
Real
And
All right, we are off topic here.
Yep.
So, all right, so I've taken the AI to fix my table to do the 24.76% from the
Yeah.
report.
And I'm gonna rewrite my, I'm
Um,
gonna write a little script for myself because
I was gonna say, it's,
threw a little blank up there and I don't like mine.
yeah, so,
Joe, one other thought, real quick, is on the summary slide.
yes.
Allowing Reading to spend less on projects we already fund, allowing Reading to spend less town money on projects we already fund, and similarly at the end, without spending more
Yeah, I see
town
what you're
money.
saying.
It adds words, but I think it reinforces a basic concept that we're talking about. This being a good deal when it comes to how we use local monies because we're getting state monies that we
Alright.
wouldn't otherwise have, and
Yeah, that makes
how we
sense.
use them. It's just,
All right. Hold on, I'm messes up my word wrapping, it's fine. I might play with the word wrapping to make that work, but
Okay.
that's, yes, that seems, sounds like people like that change, that's fine by me.
So people living in apartments, they don't pay because the building.
Well, I mean,
Oh, no, nobody.
in
would
the
pay for
same
it.
sense, I mean, no, apartments are residential. It's the same way all property taxes work when you're in
So
an
an
apartment.
apartment building
It's
is
not
considered
explicit, it's, but obviously it's, you know, the landlord has got to be making up the property tax in your rent, so. So it is, you know, it's
Apartment
not,
buildings would be commercial,
no,
certain size, you sure?
pretty sure. Now, I don't know how mixed use works, I think though, that might be something where it's broken, it might actually be part of it is residential and part is commercial, I actually don't know. how
That's
that
so
works.
many units or more is considered commercial.
So we have. We have some.
I don't know.
Yeah.
that's an assessor question, no?
Right, right.
Yeah, let me, I mean, it's something where. Yeah, it can,
when you're talking about local money,
Yeah.
it might be less of our operating budget. Is that really what we're saying here? We're spending less of our operating budget and using CPA money to fund those things?
Correct.
yes, so less. So instead of town lighting, less of our operating budget.
And just as a select board member, Joe, while you're doing that,
Yep.
I know it's in the report, like I said, you guys did almost all the heavy lifting, if not all of it. I would like to see as a select board member on the slide 2, the composition of the board,
That
the
sounds
presentation.
excellent,
Oh,
yes,
oh, that's in the report, but it's not in this.
but it's not in the
Right,
presentation.
I'd
good
like
call.
to see it in the presentation because, so I can,
Yes, yep.
know where to throw stuff, what house to find.
And
Um,
also that shows who we're representing, conservation,
Exactly.
FinCom,
I think
historical
it's-
housing.
I think that's because, in all honesty, how many people are gonna read the entire report? But that's,
Oh, nobody, I mean,
well, almost nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
everybody should get credit for
Yeah.
representing their
no, I.
different committees and.
Yeah, which is why there's a one-page summary at the beginning. It's like the
Abstract.
abstract in a scientific article, you read that, you got the gist of it.
Yeah, yeah, and then give me the highlights, give me what's the thing used to call the yellow book, what's that called? Something for dummies?
Cliff notes.
Cliff
Cliff
notes,
notes,
yeah,
yeah.
Cliff notes, yeah.
Not that I ever. I do know what you're talking about. So, yeah, list of committee members. No, that's an excellent suggestion. Thank you. All right, so,
And that would go on the intro slide?
I'm thinking
Second one, or part of the first one, whatever you wanna do.
yeah, I mean, it could go, yeah, I was gonna say before, or after the charge.
Yeah, it's just,
Do it before the.
it's just quick, just
Yeah.
like have it there.
Yes.
have it up there for like 20 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
a slide of its own.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
It's not a big, right,
Yeah.
it's mostly, it's,
Matt, I was looking at the diagonal stripy slide.
oh,
which-
no, that's gonna get crowded. No, thanks.
Okay, so extra slide of its own, but we don't have to talk about it. We just.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Kawabach, negative Nelly, put that next parentheses.
I think people will work that on their own.
Okay.
All right,
Should have
So-
worn a helmet tonight.
Oh, don't
I
worry.
know, we're.
Wait till the
it's all-
10th. Don't you
Oh,
worry.
God. Oh,
Don't
like I
you
said,
worry.
I'll bring a face
You
mask
can
for the
dress up.
tomatoes. I'll dress up in a poncho for the
As
tomatoes.
what?
All right, any other, we're getting a little punchy here.
Election season.
Need back in the, it's about to be, yeah.
Do you guys want to practice any of the slides again, or do you feel like you're in good shape?
I'm gonna go over mine and I'm in good shape. I'll be out.
All right,
And I think like Joe said at the beginning, you just don't want to get bogged down in that beginning stuff, because it's really,
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
the
that
meat of
was
it is
dumb.
how we
Yeah.
paying for this, da, 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 da.
I would almost suggest
Okay.
that instead of reading bullets, that you give pause for other people to read bullets. I think as an audience
Yes.
member, I'm sort of
Okay.
like, I can read it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And if you
Yeah.
have something to add it. Or if you want to just give me some time, I'll read it.
Okay.
So I just think that that's a stylistic thing that I suggested. It's really easy to kind of lapse into reading the
Reading
bullets. but
bullets, yeah.
I
yeah,
think if you can think about additional comments that give an overview or
Okay.
tie points together, you're
I like
better
that
off.
idea.
Yeah.
Give them a little period of time to read it themselves and then just give a little sort of synopsis of
Yeah.
the,
Yep.
It
Yeah.
just-
And on to the next, and then get to the meat of
Okay.
really what they want to know.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
really
can
you-
read faster than
Except for
people
yours,
can
Joe.
talk it out
Correct.
loud, so you can get through the slideshow faster.
Right.
If you read it to yourself, that's about how much time they need to read.
Okay,
And then, any questions, move on.
okay.
Yeah, the slides are concise, they're small, not too wordy. You guys did a great job, because the last thing anybody wants
Yeah.
is a long, boring presentation.
Right.
This is concise, to
Right.
the point,
Yeah.
hit all the high notes and move on. And that's it.
So next time, I think we'll spend even less time talking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be good. All right. I was hoping the town GIS would help me answer the question about whether large apartment buildings are commercial, but I can't actually figure that out from there, so I have to follow up on that elsewhere.
You gonna call Victor? I can call Victor. Come on.
I can email them too, but yeah, sure.
On my phone. I'll write it and look it up.
Yeah, if you don't mind, actually.
No, I don't
That'd
mind.
be
No,
great.
no.
That's a good.
I'm just curious for
question.
myself.
Yeah.
I almost.
Yeah, no, he sent me a spreadsheet with the properties and there's a tab for, actually he sent me a spreadsheet for each class of property. One of the spreadsheets is apartments. The land use code begins with a 1, I believe, which all the residential stuff does. 2 is open space, 3 is commercial, 4 is industrial. So I think, so they're definitely, so
Did
some,
you-
yeah.
Did you include apartments in there?
Yes and no. In the slide on the impact on a single family home, I did not.
Okay,
I only included single family residential. On the slide on how much we would make if we taxed all residential, I did all residential.
oh, okay. All right,
And it strikes me that the commercial value is so tiny. It would be hard for all of our multifamily apartment buildings not to count. And I mean, yeah. What am I trying to say?
Right, no, we have,
Um,
I mean, while most of the property in town is single family residential,
Single, yeah.
that is still, there's enough condos and apartments that if you, or especially apartments, condos are their own class, by the way, that's another, it's 102 instead of 101 for single family residential. I'm getting my numbers wrong.
But if we weren't counting them, commercial should be bigger.
Right, I think that yes, it's, the town is something like 90% residential, it's not 90% single family residential.
Right.
It's
And
like
like that
85% single family residential.
Complex down where Spence Farm used to be, the whole Addison Wesley complex, all of that. If you're counting that as commercial, that's an awful lot of land to only be $50,000 or
I would also have thought that would have
$65,000.
come up in split tax discussions, and it hasn't come up in those, I don't think, so. That would be, I mean,
Yeah.
but anyway, this is not,
Okay.
this is
Yeah.
something that we could just ask Victor.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
So
I'll-
like, yeah, we don't need to, you know,
No, I'll call him tomorrow.
Speculate.
I wanna know.
yeah,
I-
no, this is
I-
not,
Future agenda?
all right. Yeah, so, hold on, where's my, I've got.
And we need to approve the minutes.
Yes, no, we've got that. That's on the list as well. All right, so, we're ready for the presentation. Looking forward to seeing people there.
Did
Absolutely.
we? Did you already post that for us as a meeting? Ready to
She
go?
said she will.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, things get posted more than 2 days in advance, but not necessarily more than, much more than that.
Do we happen to know where on the agenda we will be?
We don't know, but Jax might.
Sure.
I was gonna say, it's the people who might know are Chris, Matt, Maddie and Jax.
Well, it hasn't been posted yet, so I was just wondering if it was defined in a way we could know.
Depends if they met already.
Yeah, I mean, they have meetings to decide on what the agenda
Yeah.
is. It's fancier than other committees where
It's not
just
at the
Jax
end.
emails me and reminds me that we need an agenda.
Usually town staff stuff, if town staff's involved, should go to
Yeah.
the beginning, is how I did it, but
Yeah.
whatever Chris did.
At the moment, it's estimated at 7:40.
Okay.
Yeah, with the start at 7. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so we need to be here. Oh, it starts at 7.
Yeah.
So we don't need to be here on the dot of 7,
No.
but we should be here certainly by 7:30 to watch you guys present.
Yes, and if they have questions about recreation or conservation or whatever, if you all could be here, I certainly, you all could do a better job than Sarah
Yeah.
I could, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
And likewise, if we can get Margaret to talk about housing, there are
Yeah.
housing some questions about that. But yeah, ask her what the one thing to say is or whatever on that slide and that shall be it. All right,
yeah, the reason I'm asking is because I have a 6 PM meeting in town. So I just need to know how soon I have to leave my 6 PM meeting to get to this one.
yeah,
I'll
well,
be
then
here.
just look for the select board posting, we can,
It'll be posted by Thursday.
so. All
I
right,
can send you a quick email too, just to let you know.
that would be fabulous, thank you.
got
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so future agendas. So we presumably would like to meet after presenting to the select board, getting nods.
Yep.
There'll be some amount of like debriefing and retrospection and whatnot. I haven't thought at all about when that will be. And I will say that scheduling gets real hard, real fast because there's February vacation and it's budget season. Which is so
If it cannot be on a Tuesday, that would be so great. 'cause
Right,
things
what-
start.
doesn't have to be on, yeah, no,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be on a Tuesday. Okay, so February, so there's the week we present, then there's the week of February vacation. So I'm not looking at anything until the week after that. That's the week of the 23rd.
Okay,
That is probably when we should try to meet if we wanna.
I can
Talk
do
about
every day but Tuesday.
Do it Wednesday night,
I can't, finance committee meets every week, starting Wednesday the 25th.
every week.
Yes,
He's the week.
this is why, this is
What committee?
FinCom, it's budget, this
Oh,
is,
that's right, you were in
we
budget
do, we
season,
do
right.
like most of our work in the year in
Yeah.
like a, 3 or 4 week period.
If we did Monday, we often meet on Mondays, Monday the 23rd.
Can you come,
That's probably gonna run into rec, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Mm,
It was
no,
rec,
we should be fine. The
Okay.
Recs, they're moving, they move their meetings, it's crazy.
All right, okay. So we
meetings
can,
are typically short depending,
Yeah,
if you start
Yeah,
at 6:30.
correct.
well, and
Yeah,
we'll,
that's true, we started.
yeah, we'll try to start this at 7:30, if
normal.
that's okay with everybody,
Okay.
yeah,
Yay.
Could I make a suggestion that on the
always. So,
agenda for that meeting,
I'm listening.
we talk about, just trying to find the right word,
I mean,
what we do between then and town meeting, including, contact with and discussions with stakeholders,
sure, so I think it should be,
all in connection with town meeting.
right, the way I would frame it is, how do we want to discuss our outreach to town meeting? Which would include, obviously, if like, if there are, others besides us that would want to comment to town meeting or something like that, reach out to them again.
We could mail our report to the town meeting
Yeah, I mean, probably not mail in the form of 40 pages of paper.
No,
but yeah.
email.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
email
yeah,
thing.
that will be, yes, I think
Your
we.
husband does that list, right?
talked to the-
Well, but I think it would go out officially
It would go
through
out
Laura
officially,
Gem.
Laura Gem would send
Oh,
it,
okay.
yes, yeah, no, this would be, we don't need, I mean, um, you know, there are other ways to reach town meeting members, there are forums on the town website, so forth, although those don't, you know, but yeah, no, it'll be, this, because this is going to be relevant to a warrant article. It's, you know, we can use the official channel.
When would we sunset? Do we know? Are you talking-
Oh, it says May in
Yeah,
our charge.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I didn't know we had a date. Okay,
yep,
all right.
Forget where I read that. Maybe
probably
in your
Reading,
slide.
probably readingma.gov, oh, it is in the slide, I think it's also on, readingma.gov/CPA.
Is it May to be after town meeting?
Set to sunset on May 31st, 2026, unless extended. And I don't have any, work with y'all has been great, but it's been 2 years. I don't, this run of this committee, I don't think needs to be extended
We
further.
can go off a piece session.
So. Yeah. That website, readingma.gov/CPA will need to change when there isn't a committee. Presumably it would still be helpful for the town to have a page of information about CPA when it's going to be on the ballot later, just strictly informational kind of stuff, but including the report.
Natick have like all of their things still on there and?
yeah.
Seems like when
Well,
we
I
were
mean,
looking
it's,
at that,
it's, I mean, Ganesh is rightfully proud of his report, which the rest of us have gone, we've cribbed off it, you know, we are now the, you know, probably not even the second town to crib off of his paper. But yeah. All right. So yeah, no, we should talk about our outreach to town meeting. Because I am, you know, assuming that it's going to be on the warrant, even if I have misread the charter, which is, I am not a lawyer. So if every year somebody says, sorry, you're not a board and committee, then, you know, we could, you know, any one of us could get 10 signatures, get it on the warrant that way. So assuming that's going on the warrant one way or another, we would want to talk about any outreach from this committee in advance of town meeting. And that's gonna be it. It's gonna be retrospective on the presentation and outreach at town meeting. And that's it. We're running out of work to do as this committee, which,
When is the deadline to get something on the warrant?
We'll close the warrant probably in March, early March.
March, so this,
Huh?
it's
March 10th.
March tenth, okay. So our February 23rd meeting would be well before the warrant closes. So, good to know.
yeah. No, it's in it's actually on the election calendar where I go to look for it, but it is actually there. If you're ever trying to figure this out. And the last day to post warrant is, although that's not when we're planning to do it, that's when the last day we could do it. Sounds like we're planning to do it 2 weeks after that. Makes sense. Well, last day to close warrant, March 10th. There you go. All right. Anything else for future agendas? No. All right. Minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
This will be the minutes for our meeting on January 20th. 26.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Sandy. Any comments, questions, concerns on the minutes? Next, kept it short and sweet. I think that's it's going to be either that or a 500-page transcript. So this, I think, is the right choice. We talk a lot, but not about many different things. We just talk about the CPA. All right. I don't see any discussion. Let's vote.
Did someone second it?
Sandy second.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah. Hey, that's my line. But that is in fact right through that.
6-0.
6-0. Thank you.
We didn't have to do a roll call.
I know. Love it. All right.
Why was that? We didn't do roll call?
Margaret's not
no one's on
online.
Zoom.
Hybrid.
Present.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Sandy. All in favor?
go.
0. Awesome.
Great.
See you next
Thank
week.
Thanks, everyone.
Ah,
All right.
9:30. I just gotta dash in.
Sorry,
Okay,
that
20
took longer
minutes.
than we, you know,
You kept this on.
yeah.
Not easy.
That
You too,
was
Rich.
5 minutes fast, so it's really.